What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik. I'm the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and we're gonna still talk Madden 22 today. But I got a special guest, a special person, period. And I think it's important to get different perspectives on Madden, on gameplay, on all that stuff, right? So obviously, I'm what you would call a mature gamer, right? So I've been playing these games longer than a lot of these people have even been alive, right? So in that, I know that I look at the game a little bit differently than some other people. I look at the game differently than people who play MUT a lot. Look at the game differently who people who play the yard, all of that different stuff, right? So what I thought would be a cool thing is to get my son's perspective on what is he expecting from Madden 22. So we're talking the whole end. I don't want to lead him in a certain direction or anything like that. I want to hear his raw, uncut, 100 opinion about what he expects to see from Madden. So I asked him a few questions to try to get a gauge on what his expectations are.
Franchise mode, I feel like will be the biggest improvement because, of course, my dad started the Fix Madden franchise hashtag last year towards the time Madden was coming out, and we saw a couple of small changes with Madden, a couple of features that they added in during updates and patches, and made us like, oh, that's cool. They didn't really perfect them, and it was still franchise was very much flawed still. But since they did address it, they literally posted a thing of a developer talking about it, and he addressed and he said, "Yeah, we seen the Fixed Matter franchise thing, but he did say that they pretty much didn't know how much they could get done in this short amount of time. So now for now with this being the full next gen upgrade, I think that we should be seeing a lot coming back from previous Maddens. So yeah, the biggest thing I'd like in MUT is the fee to take. I mean, the fee that it takes to enter MUT draft. It was the MUT draft's numbers have went down in terms of just how many people are playing. It has went down drastically from when it first came out in Madden 16 and stuff like that because you got to pay them a decent amount of coins to get in there, which most people feel like that's dumb. I don't know why they did that. Like I know why they did that, but I just don't like it. It's kind of like contracts in 2K, which Mutt did end up taking out in previous years, not that long ago. But I just feel like that shouldn't be there. Besides that, I feel like Mutt is pretty set. I don't feel like they're missing anything or anything else is essential. I just feel like we got room to take out the fees. Definitely, let's take. I'm expecting Madden to be a banger. I think Madden should be no less than like an 8.5. The reason being is because this is Madden's time. This is really their first next gen game. Yes, they had a PS5 version of Madden 21, but they weren't working on that for a whole bunch of time. The main thing that separates Madden 21 current gen and Madden 21 next gen is the player movement, not even really the visuals. Now the visuals, if you look real close, are a little better, but it's not really noticeable. If you come in like if you had both games up, unless that you were like truly looking for it, you probably wouldn't notice. So, but this year, I feel like since they've had all this time to work on it, I feel like they're truly gonna come out with a true next gen version of Madden. So I'm expecting that to be big. I'm expecting this to be impressive, and yeah, when it's all said and done, to be honest, I really feel like it'll be bet- it will be between baseball, MLB the Show, and 2K. To be totally honest, reason being is because baseball is actually an easier game to make than basketball and football. Basketball and football are the two hardest major sports games to make, in my opinion. It's because all of the collisions and constant actions, and as the amount of people that you have to account for all at the same time. That's just it. That just separates it from every other game. Baseball is a much easier game to make, in my opinion, because when you're batting and when you're batting pitching doesn't matter. you're only looking at four people, and one of the four people ain't even really, they ain't doing a whole bunch except yelling strike and ball. Um, you got the umpire, you got the catcher, you got the pitcher, and you got the batter. And that's just one section of the game, and then it flips, and then it's like literally like a whole nother game as soon as contact is made with the ball. As soon as the ball is put into play, then you focus on a whole nother section of the game. And a lot of times, either outfielders aren't moving, nothing has to happen because a home run was hit. The infielders aren't moving because it went into the outfield. I mean, it's just, and then in baseball, there's pretty much no collisions unless there's a tag, and the tag, you don't really have to do a lot for it because there's not a lot of crazy things that happen with tags. So because baseball is an easier game to make in that way, I feel like they have more time to perfect other parts of their game because Madden and 2K had to pay so much close. They had to pay so much attention to their games in terms of like they gotta work so hard to make sure there's no clipping. People aren't just falling through people's bodies, or just people aren't falling through the ground once somebody gets hit stick. And even all the time and effort that they put into that, there's still a little bit of that. Sometimes, some years, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of big problems of it, and they're patching it in the middle of the game being out. So now 2K from a feature standpoint, I feel like it's bigger than all of those modes. 2K does have the best franchise mode to me. Everything that you get to do, the customization has it has a couple of flaws, but really it's my NBA is pretty much limitless. I mean that anything within reason you can pretty much do. It's nothing that you can do. Now sometimes you went to real customization crazy. Like for example, when we were doing Umba, we did so much customization, so much. I mean, there was literally no trace of the NBA left except for some NBA commentators. That was about it. So we did run into a couple of issues just because of how much we changed, but we got through that whole season and we didn't really get prevented from doing anything. And that's just one mode. I really believe that every mode in 2K can be an individual game. But and as for Madden, um that's the one that I'm guessing the most on because I'm very excited to see what they're doing with the next gen version of Madden. Like I said, this is their first chance to really showcase what they can do with the new PS5 system and everything. PS5, Xbox Series X uh, um, system. So that's gonna be interesting. But like I said, when it's all said and done, I really do think MLB The Show would be the best game. It is a really great game right now, and they seem to be the most consistent out of all the AAA sports titles games, and I think it's gonna stay that way.